friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Alderon and I are here today to talk to you about a couple books that we think are just perfect to add to your list this holiday season. So these are books that honestly you could enjoy them anytime, but they are perfectly timed to read this holiday season. So we've got Christmas next week, we've got Hanukkah next week, you've got all these other fantastic holidays that we've been celebrating this month and in part of November too. And there's so many books. There's so many holiday books that come out. Sometimes it can be hard to know, what to read. There's only so much time, right? This time of year, especially when you're trying to read and there's all these other things going on like shopping and spending time with family and all this other stuff, right? So you want to make sure you're reading some books that you know you're going to like. So I read two books this year by authors that I've never read before, and I was intrigued by them. I wanted to give them a try, and I absolutely loved them both. So I'm going to share them with you today and share some features about them, and maybe they will be something that you're interested in reading as well. So they are both holiday books, okay? This first book is called How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Meghan Quinn. How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. Now, this was literally, I was walking around the bookstore in town and it was on display and I was completely entranced by this cute cover, by the title, and I've never read anything by Meghan Quinn before, and this is a hefty book, so I was like, all right, this is a commitment, and I've never really heard of her or whatever, but I'm going to start this book. Little did I know that this book has been is very buzzy lately, which is probably why it was on display. And a lot of people are talking about this book for a variety of reasons. So let's get into it. What about this book was enjoyable that I liked? So Meghan Quinn is an author that has written some other romance books. Like I said, I've never read any of them before. I definitely want to try more of her writing, though, after reading this one. This book is so hilarious. Now, I mentioned before, it is a hefty book. It's like just close to 500 pages. It's like 464 pages. But it was a fast read. I finished it in a couple days. So don't be daunted by the, the page number on this. This book is funny, it's fun, it's just an absolute delight. So this book is about this place called Kringletown that celebrates Christmas pretty much all year round. They love Christmas so much, right? Cole is our main guy protagonist who lives in this town. He's always lived there, he's grown up there, but he's not a huge fan of Christmas. He's there because that's where he grew up. His parents, raised him there, and they actually passed away when he was a young man. So his memories of the town are basically memories of his parents, which is why he's still there, even though he's no longer really a fan of Christmas. So cue our female protagonist. Her name is Story, and she is coming to stay for a few months because she's taking care of her aunt who lives in this town. Now, she's visited the town many times when she was a kid. She ran into Cole before they were friends, but ever since she's come back, he is like really like off-putting to her. Like he's really like kind of mean and short with her. And so she decides on behalf of her aunt, she's going to enter this Kringletown competition, which is basically like a holiday competition to see who has the most Christmas spirit. There's all kinds of aspects of this. There's a candy cane making contest. There's a caroling, like a singing contest. There's a fruit cake making contest. There's like eggnog making contest. There's like all these different things that she's going to do. Well, when Cole finds out that she is taking place and competing, he's like, absolutely not. I cannot let this girl possibly win this prize. I cannot let her win the title. I am going to compete too for the first time ever. So he is now also competing. So I don't know if you would consider this a friends to lover story because they were friends when they were little, or an enemies to lover because they're enemies now. I guess a little bit of both, or childhood friends to lovers. So they are competing. They are rivals in this competition. And of course, there's a lot of emotional development between the two of them too, and some romance too, because this is obviously a Christmas romance, right? So what did I love about it? I loved that this book cracked me up. It was so funny. It did not take itself seriously, which I think is important for a book like this. If you're having a book that is sort of silly and set in this Christmas type themed town, please don't make it super serious and all this other stuff, right? I mean, and they're not to play it down either. I mean, there are definitely some really good character moments here. There's Cole dealing with his parents' deaths and still working on that trauma. And there's, stuff in Story's past. So it's not all fluff, but you know, I love a good Christmas pun, and this book is just filled with them. I also really love that, you know, from the title, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas is like a play on The Grinch Stole Christmas. Well, throughout the book, in the beginning of each chapter, there's like a little rhyming poem that's like supposed to be reminiscent of The Grinch, which is super funny. So I'm just going to read you like a part of the first one. Every Kringle in Kringletown celebrated Christmas a lot, but Coal Black on Whistler Lane, unfortunately, did not. Cole became a recluse during the Kringle Christmas season. No one knew why. No one could quite give a reason. And so it goes on. And each chapter has a little bit of that ahead of it, which is super, super fun. So I also, another thing I really want to add about this before you jump up and go get it. This book is definitely considered a spicy Christmas story, okay? There are some spicy scenes peppered throughout the book. They don't start right away, so I wouldn't say that it's like an entirely filled with spice book. But once they start going, they're pretty prominent and regular part of the story too. So if you are someone who enjoys some spicy scenes, then I would say absolutely you're going to love this book. If you tend to not really enjoy those as much, this one might be one you don't want to, you know, to get involved in. I will say there is a scene with a candy cane. That's all I'm going to say about the candy cane. It made me, I never think about candy canes the same way again. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you're interested, try this book, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. The next one is called The Nightmare Before Kissmas, which is another play on, obviously, a title of a Christmas movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. So I am a sucker for all things Christmas and Halloween. So when I saw there was a book, also look at these page edges, just saying. So when I saw there was a book that combined both of these holidays, I was really, really excited. So this is another book that is a holiday romance book that is absolutely hilarious. Like, I actually think the jokes are even better in this one. Like the puns, the holiday puns that are in this one are just fantastic. The banter and the dialogue between the characters in this book is so genuine and fun. I felt like I befriended all these characters, and I just absolutely loved them so much. So this book is about the son of Christmas, whose name is Nicholas. Cole is his nickname, and how he is sort of very not gung-ho about the idea of someday running the holiday. His dad, Santa Claus, is very, like, think about, like, conglomerate, right? Like, he is very much all about the press. There's, like, these holiday newspapers that publicate everything. He's very all about image and what, you know, and it feels like the true meaning of the holiday season has been lost to his dad. So Cole is not really feeling him. So his dad, to try to get him in line, ends up arranging a marriage between him and the daughter of Easter, who happens to be his best friend, Iris. So he's like, I absolutely cannot marry her. She's my best friend. I don't feel that way about her. But then comes Hex. And Hex is the prince of Halloween. He's the son of the king and queen of Halloween. And he says, oh, no, I'm going to marry Iris, the princess of Easter. Because basically both of these families are trying to vie for more power within the holiday realm, right? The more you combine different holidays, the more power you get for that holiday. So Hex and Cole now are competing for Iris's hand and all these very big public, displays of different activities. The only problem is that Cole has actually met Hex before. He happens to be the same guy that Cole made out with when he was drunk one night in a bar on like one of the worst nights of his life. So, but he's never heard from him again after that. So he has a lot of these feelings. Animosity might be one of them tied into that with Hex. So now you've got this whole fake marriage scenario going on very publicly, where Cole is trying to win over Iris's hand and Hex is trying to win over Iris's hand. But Cole and Hex are actually developing feelings for each other. So there's this whole shenanigans that happens. And like I said, the dialogue and the banter between everybody. Iris, the friend, the Easter princess is so hilarious, and I loved her friendship with Cole so much. I also loved Cole's relationship with his younger brother, who is also just fantastic of a character. Again, this book is filled with holiday puns. They are so funny. I really, really loved the characters in this. I thought it was super hilarious. In terms of spice, this one is definitely less spicy than the one I previously talked about. There are a couple scenes more towards the late middle to the end of the book, but it's definitely not as prominent. So if you're not a huge fan of spicy stuff, I think this one should probably be okay for you. Like, there is a little bit of it, but if you don't like it, you can always skip over it. But this book is not only one of the funniest holiday books I've ever read, I think it might be my favorite holiday read of this season. I've tried to read a lot, so I just think this book is wonderful. But they both are really fantastic. The Nightmare Before Kissmas and How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. So if you're looking for lighthearted, more fun holiday reads with a little bit of spice, give these two a try. They're absolutely fantastic. Well, that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope that one or both of these books sound really awesome. And if they do, they are available from Farmington Community Library, so feel free to come and get them from there. And I hope everyone has a really wonderful and amazing holiday. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching, friends.